Hey everybody, welcome back to another Citrus Corner. Today we're going to dive into a little more of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It had opened to the public on June 28th, to some surprising results that it's actually up and running. Go figure. We're also going to dive into jumping into the high seas on the Disney Cruise Line. Some new information came out with two of Disney's newest cruise ships, the Adventure and the Treasure. And we're also going to dive into some other topics around the world of Disney right here on Citrus Corner, part of OG 55.
So I dropped my orange highlighter, my infamous orange highlighter right before we went to the graphic, and I had a I was scrambling to get it. Go ahead, George. I made it barely in time.
The infamous orange highlighter. Now it's part of the show now. It has to make its cameo.
Exactly. Go ahead, brother. I do apologize.
Not a problem. It's the Stan Lee of OG 55.
There it is.
But anyways, welcome back, folks, to another Citrus Corner, part of Orange Grove 55. I'm George, the Italiano, your host with the most. Today we're going to dive into some Walt Disney World news and some Disney Cruise Line news. But before we do that, I got to introduce my compadre, my partner in crime, the OG himself, Mr. Orange Grove 55. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing really, really good. I'm really excited, George, to talk Walt Disney World Cruise Lines with you. I think it's going to be a really, really fun show. We've been really busy here on the channel. We've been churning out that content, doing a lot of live shows. We're actually going to do a live show this upcoming Monday with the Bad Thoughts, Tones, and Candid Camper. So that's going to be a really fun show. But yeah, I'm looking forward to today's video. Young blow, but I'm built like an OG. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. So the first topic we're going to discuss today is we're jumping back down to the Bayou for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So it is now open to the public. It had its grand debut on June 28th. And, there was a lot of pushback with this attraction because it had a lot of technical and operational issues. And thus far, it seems like it's been kind of smooth sailing. And there have been a lot of notions saying that, the ride is still, being, down and not operating. But unfortunately, sometimes it's not the operational issues. It's Mother Nature that stands in the way of these attractions. And this is coming from our good friend of the channel, Drew, the Disney dude. He was at the Magic Kingdom the other day, and as you can see, you could barely see Cinderella Castle off in the distance with all that stormy rain.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why. I mean, even in this weather, when Splash Mountain was around, with its old theme, they would shut it down in weather like this. So they shut down Tiana's because of weather like this. It wasn't because it was breaking down a whole lot or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, from all the reports that I'm seeing, it looks like it had a really successful opening day. Again, I was kind of worried a little bit going into this because it was weird. I was kind of a roller coaster, no pun intended, of emotions for me this past month. Initially, I was kind of like, you guys, it's these are like, it's like tech rehearsal stuff. So there's going to be kinks, right? But as we went on, it got worse and worse and worse and a little bit more, what's it called? Frequent, the breakdowns. And I was starting to get really worried. Like, well, wait a minute. We're kind of getting into territory of like Hagrid's motorboat. That's that. Yeah, Hagrid's a freak. He's a freak.
Just hopefully that beer doesn't get in the way.
Hagrid's motorbike. No, I'm kidding. Hagrid's motorbike levels here with the breakdowns, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, it was getting kind of crazy with the breakdowns. I was like, oh man, we talked about it many times on the channel. They got to get this thing like working like more consistently, right? They had the opening day and it seems to went off pretty much without a hitch, except for the weather. So what can you do about that? But overall, I think it was successful. I haven't heard too much today, though. at the time of this recording, Saturday the 29th. And it's the end of the day. It's almost 6 o'clock here in California, but I haven't heard anything today. Have you heard anything in terms of like the operations for the day? Or
the only thing that I heard that there were some reports that there were some temporarily closed. Tiana's was one of them. Pirates was another, and then there was another one. But again, I don't know if it had anything to do with the weather or the rain. It's a possibility. I'm not 100% sure, but other than that, that was the only thing that I heard. So I'm assuming that all the rides came back online in time, which it's going to happen, folks. This isn't the first time. You know, it's not like any of these rides never went down temporarily, and it just so happens that because it happened to Tiana's, it's like, oh, this is a new thing. This is nothing new.
It's Tiana, so it's going to be seen through a microscope now. You know, every time this thing has any kind of hiccup, oh, see, they shouldn't have rethemed it. It's nonsense, absolute nonsense. And I will say this too, in terms of the weather, I never, ever, ever do a thing about the weather because the weather never, ever does a thing for me. So, nah. Movie that was from, George?
Say it again.
You know what movie that was from?
It sounds familiar. Refresh my memory.
Alice in Wonderland. I never, ever, ever do a thing about the weather because the weather never, ever does a thing for me. You don't remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it now. I got it. Yeah.
Oh man, you're my Disney.
I usually am. I think it's because it was sung. So when you said it just as speaking, it didn't like.
I don't have the vocal range that you do, George. I have to. No, but yeah, no. In all seriousness, though, I mean, it looks like it's been a successful opening, and I've been seeing people that have been very critical of Tiana's on the announcement and the past few years actually going on Tiana's and coming back and saying, you know what, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. You know, Rogue Attraction came back and said 7.58 out of 10. That's pretty good. And he was critical. And I respect that. I respect that he can be critical and ride this thing and be, hey, upfront and say, hey, look, you know what? I actually enjoyed it. Does that mean he thought it was perfect? No. I got to be honest with you. When I ride the attraction, I'm probably not going to think it's perfect either. I can't ride a lot of things. There's not many attractions at Disneyland or Disney parks in general that I think are perfect anyway.
I was just going to ask you, is there an attraction for you that is almost pretty much a solid 10 out of 10 for you?
Indiana Jones comes pretty close because the one thing that was ruining Indiana Jones for me for the longest time was the rat room.
Okay.
And that's gone. You know what I'm saying? So that one is pretty close. The new scene's pretty dope. It's you still know it's projection though. It's a little bit off.
There is one room there that I feel like that could be updated again, and that's the final scene before you get to Indy hanging on the rope, and it's the skeletons on the walls where they're like shooting the arrows at you, but you could see that they're cardboard cutout kind of things. Like I want to see something like I want to actually see like skeletons. Like they don't have to be like full on AAs, but I want to see like I don't even know, have like real arrows shooting out of the walls, like just missing our heads.
Oh shit! Got me in the neck. No, but yeah, I, you know that one comes pretty close. Like that's a close. Pirates comes. Man, I'm thinking about Pirates right now. I can't think of many flaws in that attraction. I think it's pretty dang near perfect. They kind of. Some of the new dialogue maybe brings it down just a little bit. I don't like, you know, when you go to that one scene and he's like, Captain Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow. He repeats it like 30 times.
Yeah.
That kind of, but that one comes pretty close too. But by and large, for the most part, I mean, these are attractions and they're never going to be perfect. And Tiana's is no exception. So I know when I ride Tiana's eventually, you're going to ride it very soon in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. But I know when I ride it eventually, there's going to be some things I don't like about it, and that's okay. But you know what? That doesn't mean that it's a terrible ride.
I think for me, I'm very curious about Tiana's. I'm just more excited to get back into that log on that track again because it's been so long, and I miss the drop. I miss the overall feel of that attraction as much as I do, you know, love and miss Splash Mountain. I think just being on that ride and experiencing something new, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, and one of the things I've been looking forward to, I've been saying it for years and years now, really, taking that sort of Pirates of the Caribbean like Bayou vibe from Disneyland and putting that into that massive Splash Mountain show building, I think is going to be really, really cool to see. So, and from what I've seen on video, we get a lot of that in this attraction. So I'm excited. I am, and I can't wait to see our little big out. It's Louis, right? I always call him. It's Louis. I always want to say Louis. I don't know.
Well, Louis, yeah, Louis.
Oh, it's Louis.
Louis, yeah.
Okay, I see. I always switch the name, but Louis. I'm really looking forward to seeing our Louis the alligator and that great finale scene, and so yeah, it'll be cool. I think it'll be a worthy successor to the old attraction. I'm from what I'm seeing and hearing, I'm very pleased. So.
So moving along, we are leaving Walt Disney World for the time being, and we are heading out to the high seas for some new information on the Disney Cruise Line. And this is coming from the Disney goat himself, or as our buddy Slimer says, Scott Goatston.
Yeah, Scott Goatston. Yeah, Goatston. Yeah, exactly.
He's the goat.
He is. Yeah, I think I like it. I do like using Scott for reference in our videos because number one, he's a really nice guy. But aside from that, he's very clean and concise with the way he presents the information. It's very easily digestible and to kind of go down the list. Yeah, so does a great job.
So Disney Cruise Line revealed new details about the Disney Adventure, the new cruise ship that'll be sailing from Singapore starting in 2025. The ship will feature 7 uniquely themed areas, including Disney Imagination Garden, San Francisco Street, Marvel Landing, and more. So basically what this is saying is it's almost like a theme park on water in a sense. Now, when I say that, not saying that they're going to have these high-end e-ticket attractions, but the overall theming and scope of how they're proceeding this ship, of how Magic Kingdom and Disneyland have these unique lands, that they're implementing that on the ship. So each part of the ship will have its own specific section that is desired to a specific theme.
And I have to say, I really like that name, Marvel Landing. I'm looking at that name. I'm going, I think I would have preferred that over Avengers Campus.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I would. Because Avengers Campus is and I understand why they did it at the time, because Avengers were the hot thing at that time, right?
Right.
But they're not now. I mean, they're not as hot as they once were. Maybe they'll be hot again. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I think I would have rather have had the land theme to Marvel in general over the Avengers. I don't know. That's just me. Yeah. I think that's a great name. I love that name. But
I agree. But yeah, so I think it's very, and of course Disney created a mock-up map, sort of kind of like how they did with the treasure when they gave us a sneak peek of what we can experience. So it's basically, it looks like a map of an island, but it's actually in the shape of the ship, and where you see the specific lands or IP, that is where those sections are designated on the ship itself.
Very cool.
And then they also revealed new renderings of what the staterooms would look like, which I think that they're very, very elegant and decadent. I think they look really nice.
Oh, I love this. It's actually giving me the itch to go on another cruise, because this is my favorite thing. When I go on these cruises, man, I don't care. I don't go out there and like take pictures with like Pirate Mickey and all that. That's just not my thing. That's more my sister, and that's cool. She loves that. But for me, in the room, on the balcony, chilling, watching the water, enjoying the fresh air, just having a drink, whatever, that's my jam. And this is just, I love this, man. It looks great. Absolutely fantastic.
And I love how they add the subtle touches of Disney, but not where they overly do it, where it's thrown in your face.
Exactly. So you got the nice little, hopefully Glen Keane art on the left, right, of Ariel. You got, the beautiful aquatic kind of color scheme. It's beautiful.
And I love the pillows because it looks like the scales of her tail.
Exactly. Really pretty stuff, man. I'm digging the staterooms quite a bit. And this is that map you were talking about.
Yes, this is the map. So yeah, they kind of break it down into quadrants. So this is the upper left side of the ship. So basically, this is the back side of the ship. You could see where San Francisco Street's going to be. Right next to it is Marvel Landing. And And then moving along, you have
Some Toy Story.
Toy Story. I don't know if they have I don't know if they had a specific name for it. And then you can see Rapunzel's Tower just southeast of that. And then below there, yeah, you have the Little Mermaid, you have Finding Nemo, and you also have Moana. Man, and I believe they said, I don't know if it was confirmed, but they also might be getting the Moana stage show, just like the Treasure is.
That's interesting. You know what? Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, based on Moana's popularity, based on the fact that we're getting not only a sequel to the animated film, but we're also getting a live action of the original movie. We're likely probably going to get another Moana movie too, like animated, because this movie I think it's going to do very well. It makes sense. We're going to get a lot of Moana. So be prepared. Be prepared.
Now the real question is just how far they'll go.
Yeah, exactly. That is the real question. Absolutely.
And now, speaking of the Disney Treasure, also new news coming from the GOAT himself, Mr. Scott Gustin. A new Guardians of the Galaxy show will debut at the Worlds of Marvel on the Disney Treasure when the ship launches this coming December. Now, basically what it is it's the Marvel restaurant that is already on the Disney Wish, but Disney did tease us that there was going to be a new storyline, more Marvel characters, so it was going to be a little bit different, but it'll be intertwined with the same Marvel restaurant. So so Disney released to the fact of that it's going to follow Baby Groot on his quest to throw the ultimate surprise party for his friend Rocket. Now,
dude, this is so good. I'm sorry. I call me a shill, call me whatever, all the pixie grifters can call me a shill. I don't care. I love me some Groot. I'm going to definitely, if I ever get a chance to go on the Disney Treasure, I mean, I definitely will check this out. This looks fun, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I knew that's what I was going to say. Like, I know people are going to like diss and don this and say, oh, they're watering down Guardians of the Galaxy and what have you. And it's like, to a certain degree, you have to do it when you're put in this kind of environment. And I think Groot and Rocket kind of fit that bill that they can kind of get away with like those subtleties. Yeah. But I just love, because especially with Guardians of the Galaxy, like I could imagine the soundtrack that they're going to attach to this thing.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Our friend maybe actually had a really good idea in the live show where she was saying they should do a Guardians of the Galaxy like nighttime party at like California Adventure. Yes. And during the day have it be geared towards the kiddos, and at night, like after 8 or 9 p.m., have it be more adult themed and stuff, That was a great idea, actually. I thought that was pretty awesome. But this kind of the reason why I bring that up is this kind of reminds me of her concept of the family-friendly Guardians, like kind of party. We got the disco ball stuff.
But fun. I would love a nighttime one where everyone just like pile drives one another and we all just like rip, grind, and twerk on each other. Like that'd just be like so freaking awesome.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it looks great, man. We went to when we went on the Wish together. Mm-hmm. We did the. It was Ant-Man. Well, it was Marvel, and it was just a general Marvel theme. But we had Ant-Man and Spider-Man come out, right?
Correct. Yeah, they kind of started off the storyline with Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Spider-Man made like his surprise at the grand finale. And you always said it was almost like as if who did you reference to? Like,
it was like Elvis came back from the dead.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like the normies were loving the Spider-Man thing, and that's why I tell everybody you can't. I know, like the diehard theme park community, they want like the non-IP thing or whatever, the super like deep cut like non-IP thing, or but like the normies don't want that. These families you see here, they want Groot, they want Elsa, they want Anna, they want Spider-Man. This is what they want,
Exactly.
But I want to know who are these lovely ladies back here? Sit at their table, George. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. Well, actually, if you look at the guys over on the right side,
no,
over on the table behind the girl, and them. See, you think that they're looking at Groot. They're not looking at Groot.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But I do apologize. You were saying?
Oh, it's all good. No, I was just going to say that it fits the environment of where you're at on the cruise ship. So when you're having dinner, you want to have something lively, something positive, something upbeat, because you don't want nothing that's even though we do enjoy like a action packed kind of antagonistic kind of feel, but when you're dining, you want to have something fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is a perfect theme for that. This is going to be get the audience like really hyped up, and it's a fun vibe, cute character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a huge success. I really do.
Oh, do you have the other one for the treasure, or are we coming back for that one?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I miss? What did
The Aristocats.
Oh, you know what? Hold on one sec. Let me see. I might have missed that one, but we could talk about it. Maybe just double check. Give me a sec. And that's for the treasure?
That's for the treasure.
Go ahead. Introduce it, and I'll go ahead and pull it up.
So also for the treasure, Disney had released, which was very surprising. It shocked me, and I'm for sure it shocked OG that they're actually going to implement kind of like a jazz kind of lounge club that is based off of the Aristocats. And I just thought that was freaking genius.
Well, first of all, I love this, okay? Because everyone complains. Oh man, they just use the same IP over and over again. How many times you got to get frozen, right? You hear all the complaints. They're giving you something totally different here. I don't remember the last time we got Aristocats anything in the parks, ever on a cruise. I mean, it's they never use in a parade. I mean, can you remember anything? I know in Japan, like Marie, the little white cat with the pink bows and stuff, she's really popular. But out here in America, they're really not that hot of a franchise. And the fact that they're kind of dedicating this much space on this cruise ship for them, I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's awesome.
And I also think they're pretty big at Disneyland Paris because that's what their movie is set, that they believe they have Marie meeting out there as well. But yeah, this is the Scat Cat Jazz Club. I love how they have, for sure it's probably going to be lit in neon lights with everybody wants to be a cat. And the one thing that I just like absolutely fell in love with was this piano where you could actually see the kitten's paw prints based off of how it was on the movie when it was Toulouse, the orange kitten, that he was doing his painting, and as Berlioz was playing on the piano and Marie was singing, and they were like kind of like making a mess with all the paint and everything. So that just takes me right back to the film. So I thought that was just
yeah, that's a nice little touch. That's a nice little Disney touch there, to kind of add a little fun to the space,
Absolutely.
It looks great. It's a cool idea to have Aristocats because we never see anything from them out here. And we talked about it. We went out here last September. You and I, we did Oogie Boogie Bash, and we saw Madam Mim. Mm-hmm. From Sword in the Stone, and we were kind of impressed by that, how that's kind of a deep cut character, not really a hot IP. So it seems like Disney is leaning into these more like, not as super hot IP. I mean, even in the short Once Upon a Studio, at the very end, we saw the rooster from Robin Hood. I mean, yes. We never see these characters, and I feel like Disney's starting to utilize and embrace a lot of the stuff that's been kind of forgotten over the years, and I think that's great. You have a massive library, use it.
And that would be a nice, cool little like lounge area. That if they did like a Sherwood Forest kind of vibe, and it showcases the rooster. I think that would be really cool.
Oh, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I hope Disney does more of that. And we've also seen it a little bit with the Magic Happens parade, right? With Merlin and stuff on that float, which again, even back then, I think it was like in 2019, 2020 when that premiered, I was surprised that they went there with that. So I think it's cool. Sometimes it's nice to have some of these lesser known or IP that of yesteryear kind of come back,
Yeah, absolutely. So that is all the news we have as of right now for Disney Cruise Line. I'm for sure Disney will be releasing more info on those ships, along with the even newer ship that was just announced recently, the Disney Destiny. So I'm for sure we'll probably be getting some more info on that at D23. But in the meantime, moving back on land to Epcot, the Zootopia Land exhibit debuts at Epcot Park, which basically is in the China pavilion because of, I guess, where it showcases that the Zootopia land is in Shanghai Disney. So they kind of added this new kind of section where you can kind of uh, where they kind of showcase of what's actually in Zootopia land over there. But OG, I'm actually going to pass it over to you because you have some thoughts and opinions on this.
Yeah, I mean, here's my feeling on this. Here's the exhibit, but here's my feeling on this. I feel like these pavilions are really a celebration of the countries, right? So a celebration of China, for example, right? And Chinese culture. I kind of have an issue with this because this park, yes, it exists in China. I understand that, but it just feels a little too Disney centric, and not it's more about Disney than it is about Chinese culture or China the country. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I don't know. It doesn't feel right in Epcot for some reason.
Because Zootopia was chosen by Disney just to put it in a Chinese theme park. It has nothing to do with the culture.
It has nothing to do with Chinese culture. Yeah, it happens to be in that park. And even if you're talking about Shanghai Disney Resort in general, like they kind of are here with Disney Town and Mickey Avenue, it still feels weird to me. You're advertising a Disney product that happens to be in China. I'd much rather these pavilions be showcasing stuff of the culture of the country, even things that were even inspired by the country. Like, for example, people are going to probably clap back at me and say, well, what about Frozen Ever After? But see, Frozen Ever After for me is rooted in Norway, because the animators and the artists went to Norway as inspiration for the fabrics on all the dresses, the architecture in the movie. It was so rooted in that Norwegian culture. It works for me in Epcot. It's a subjective thing. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't like it. For me, it just personally, that works fine for me. This though, it's a Disney park that's just in China. So it's more about the park than it is about the country, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know. I don't like it. It's a beautiful exhibit, though. I will say it's a beautiful exhibit. The woodwork and everything. Look, it looks great. It just feels a little weird for me. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I definitely could see your point. I definitely think that if they wanted to showcase Zootopia Land from Shanghai, I would have possibly maybe put it in Disney Hollywood Studios, in the Walt Disney Presents building, because they already have a lot of showcased models there from the parks, and you kind of get the glass mannequin, the glass holding mannequins and everything. You can kind of get that feel, and it's park centric in there, so it would fit, I think, much better. I can see where Disney was trying to go with it, but I think the execution just doesn't work for me as well. It does make me wonder if they're kind of throwing little hints, not saying Zootopia is coming to Epcot by all means.
The Zootopian Pavilion. Oh,
the Zootopian Pavilion. I mean, that's far-fetched. I mean, that's just about as far-fetched as like if Disney decided to put a Zootopia 3D show in the Tree of Life.
Yeah, I know. That's a weird decision too. And I'm not, look, here's the thing. People who've been watching our channel for a long time, they know I'm not like super, I don't have like God, I hate to cuss or whatever, but I don't have another way to say it. I don't have like a stick up my ass when it comes to this stuff. Like, I'm not super rigid about themes, right? I'm really not. Right. Like, I'm open for, Cars Land and like San Francisco and DCA. Like, I'm not super rigid. I'm flexible. There are certain things though that are just, sometimes it's a bridge too far. You know what I'm saying? It's just, Tree of Life is weird because you get in the tree. Yes, they're animals, but what, are you going to see a cop car in there? It makes no sense. It makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense, Like we were saying last night, like put Chip and Dale in there.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Do something where, I don't know. Yeah, do something where it would make sense, To me, that just doesn't. When they made that announcement at Destination D23 back in last November, I was like scratching my head at that. And I'm like, okay, Bruce Vaughn, I know that you made that announcement, but there's no way in hell that you could be happy or satisfied with that. So I wonder if that's one of the things he changed, because that was already announced. And we have yet heard anything more on that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce came in and he decided to change that up. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
Instead of,
not saying that it's tough to be a bug is not going, but I just wonder if the show is going to be something different than what they had already announced for Zootopia.
yeah, yeah. If we don't hear anything at D23 about that Tree of Life Zootopia thing, it's gone.
Yeah.
Because it's just a 3D show. It shouldn't take this long. If we don't hear anything, I think we could officially say it's dead.
Yeah. But I do wonder if Disney doing this, if they're kind of throwing the hint that Zootopia is going to be placed, having a bigger presence in the domestic parks, especially with the sequel coming out fairly soon.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna. I think that's why we were talking last night on our live show about. I feel like Zootopia might come to DCA. I think there's a real chance that we might get that announcement at the expo. I mean, we know Pandora, we already know that, but I think Zootopia might be the new thing we hear about, and it might go into DCA, might replace Hollywoodland. That's just my feeling on it. I don't know. I just have an inclination that might be announced, but we'll see. We will absolutely see.
Absolutely. And still staying at Epcot, this is actually, I know this may not seem like real big breaking, hard hitting news, but this actually gives me, I don't know, this just gives me the good feels, because I love when Disney kind of updates and restores their special effects to attractions that I feel that are kind of underappreciated and maybe underrated. And this is definitely to that notion that Disney World continues to update and restore effects on Living with the Land pavilion at Epcot. That they restored the fire effects in the burning fields behind the buffalo, and they also kind of updated the lighting package as well to give it that really bright, vibrant look. And so it does make me feel good, because a lot of people think that with Living with the Land, it's an old, outdated, retired attraction. No one cares about it, but apparently Disney still sees something into it, that if they're willing to take the time and the money to put into restoring all these special effects.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If they're investing in it like this, and it's safe for a while. And I was actually kind of surprised when you and I went on this, it had a little bit of a line. I was like, okay. I mean, I was surprised. I got to be honest with you, because this is a very kind of edutainment-y kind of thing, and it's not something I thought the normies would wait in line for. But it had a decent line, which is good to see. I'm glad. I'm happy.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And for anyone who does enjoy Living with the Land, definitely check out the Behind the Seeds tour that they hold at Epcot. Dates and times vary depending on what season that you're visiting Epcot, but you can inquire more information on that. There's a little podium and kiosk over by I think it's over by the exit of Living with the Land, or the entrance. It's either one of the two. But yeah, so if you're interested in more of that, to kind of go behind the scenes with Disney's greenery and gardening, fruits, vegetables, and aquatic life and all that kind of stuff, definitely check out the Behind the Seeds tour for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then moving on to our final topic this evening.
No, sir. We actually have one more after this. We have Peter Pan.
Oh, that's right. That kind of ties into that. Excuse me. So, see, folks, we just have like so many topics that we just dive in here. So, okay. So, second to last topic for this evening. This was quite interesting. Annual pass holders holiday season room discount boosted to 40% off when booked early at Walt Disney World. Now, I know a lot of people were talking about that the summer months are going to be kind of slow. Even Disney anticipated that for both Walt Disney World and Disneyland, which kind of gives the hyped up notion that the holiday season for Halloween and for Christmas, that there's going to be a boom in packages and sales or what have you. But with this, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it a little too much. You tell me what you think, OG, that I mean, 40% off a room during the holidays, that's pretty steep.
Yeah, I think that these, and it's not just Disney, it's not brand withdrawal or whatever. I mean, I think that these companies in general, Universal's offering a lot of deals too this
Yes.
summer and everything like that. So I think these companies are seeing, they're anticipating a pullback from theme park visitation the next few months to maybe a year. I'm not really sure, how far out that goes, but it seems like they are forecasting it to be a little slower, which is evidence to also why we're seeing a lot of, like at Disneyland, we're seeing them work on a lot of stuff during the summer months or closing down Space Mountain and all that. I mean, they are forecasting a slower next few months.
So, do you feel that it could be not because it's a brand withdrawal of Disney itself, and as you said, you see it around the board. You see it with Universal. You just see it. Do you think a lot of these places, it's just getting too expensive for people to afford? So these companies, including Disney, have to kind of find a balance sheet, so to speak.
I think it's part of that. I think times are tough. People are looking at people are kind of managing their money more now. I get it, absolutely. And also I think too, I think people kind of went crazy with the theme park thing after the lockdowns. Mm-hmm. And people were going to these theme parks because they were locked in their houses for so long. And I think people are kind of burning out a little bit of going. I think it's starting to kind of look. I mean, theme parks will always be popular. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're going to die off, but I just think that there was such a boom of a travel boom after the lockdowns. I think people are just kind of like, you know what?
And especially because everybody went at once because of that.
Exactly.
So when it evens out, it looks like it's less, but really it's basically the norm.
Yeah, it's leveling out, and people are just kind of like that. What they call it, revenge travel, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just people are kind of like exhausted at this point, And then you have Epic Universe opening in spring/summer of 2025. That might be an element here as well. People might be waiting to book vacation packages in Florida for that to open, so they can kind of do everything at once, So I think there's a lot of different things here, but at the end of the day, the Mouse House will survive, though. I promise you.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I absolutely promise you.
And you have to think too. I mean, it's 40% off of room rates for annual pass holders, during the holiday season. So, I mean, if you're an annual pass holder and if you book early and you want to be at Disney World during the holidays, take advantage of it, because chances are when it's gone, then you're going to be bitching that it's too expensive.
Right. Exactly. Take advantage. Might as well. Absolutely.
And speaking along with, like the travel slump and everything, and we touched upon it a little bit with Disneyland having all these closures at once. Now, Walt Disney World kind of caught that bug a little bit.
Did you say Disneyland with all these closures, George?
Yeah. Oh, so y'all ain't gonna let nobody disrespect the West Coast, huh?
You finally got to use it in the proper manner.
Yes. Go ahead.
That Peter Pan's flight is closing starting on July 8th for a 6-week refurbishment at Magic Kingdom. Basically the same day as I believe that majority of the closures are happening at Disneyland. But I think it's quite interesting that they're choosing this time again. And I think it's because we're just so used to the summer months booming at the parks. And I think because they are having a little bit of a slump, which again, Disney had already addressed this during their quarterly earnings. Bob Iger mentioned it. What's his name? Johnson.
Oh, Hugh Johnston.
Hugh Johnson,
the CFO.
The CFO. Yes, he mentioned.
I heard he was hired because he's a white guy. Is that true?
But they mentioned it as well. So being that it is kind of slow, Disney's going to have to find ways, and it sucks because yes, if you do get those travelers that do those once in a lifetime vacation trips, you do feel bad for them that if something is closed that they won't be able to experience it. But Disney can't please everybody. They can't, if they want to have these parks open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They have to maintain it. And a lot of people complain about saying, oh, well, this is malfunctioning. Oh, the paint off of this is wearing out. Oh, this is chipped. This is that. The track is wear and tear and the vehicles are all banged up. Well, in order for Disney to maintain that, these rides and attractions have to go down for refurbishment. So no matter what you do, they have to find a time to do this. So if the summer is slow, then that's the opportunity for them to do it.
Well, and we also don't know the reasoning behind a lot of this stuff, and people can assume like, well, they should do this, that, or the other so it doesn't get so bad. And that's true. I don't necessarily disagree with that. There should be preventative stuff. Absolutely. But at the same time, we don't know. Like I was on Theme Park Wizard's channel today and Wizard was speculating that he thinks that maybe the Space Mountain closure has something to do with a broader Tomorrowland plan. Is he right? I have no idea. Maybe not. I don't know. But when they're going in for Space Mountain, they might be adding some new stuff. They might be reconfiguring things for something down the road, like what Wizard was saying, an expansion or something. We just don't know. And that's the thing. It's not always things are just falling apart. There are other things and other elements maybe involved that we're not privy to. You know what I'm saying? So there's that too. And with this, we don't know. I mean, are they going to add scenes or change scenes? Let me see. It says here, as for the reason for the refurbishment, Disney World has not yet said. Back in early May, we reported about permits filed for the installation of set elements, but no specific details were available. We have previously asked Disney World for comment, but they have not responded. So they were blogmickey.com was talking about there were permits filed for installation of new set elements. So this goes beyond just like,
Big
repair
Thunder.
work. Yeah, it seems like they're actually installing some show stuff. Oh, beyond Big Thunder. Yeah, exactly. So I think that, we just don't know. And that's my point here, But
do you think the fandom wants too much of Disney? It's like if something is going down, whether it's for refurbishment, whether it's for maintenance, do you think like we kind of, when I say we, not necessarily us, but just the fandom in general, that we kind of stick our nose in a little bit too much, where it's just like, let Disney do their thing, and it's like, let it be that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the dog, there was a massive dog in the Secret Life of Pets queue. You've seen it, right? The big dog on the couch, and he's been missing. I don't even know if he came back yet. He's been gone for weeks, maybe even months. I don't know. He's been gone a long time. The last 2 times I've been to Universal, he's been gone. I don't see any outrage on X about that. Where's the dog? How come what's taking Universal so long to bring the dog back? Why? That's a bad show. You don't hear any of that. So to your point, George, I do think there is a little bit of this with Disney. I think people care more about Disney, which is a big part of it, But I think it's a little bit hyper. The hyper vigilance is a good word for it. Is a little overboard sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like let them do their thing. And here's the thing too. It's like, we hear a lot of complaints about, we have Tiana's, we got Haunted Mansion, that whole back end is closed, yada, yada, yada. And it's annoying. I get it. I don't like having a bunch of walls and having that whole back end of the park shut down either. But what's the alternative, everybody? Should we put a complete halt on the construction and and resume it after Labor Day? Because if we did that, then everyone would complain, how come they don't build stuff as fast as Universal? You can't win. If you go through and you just push through the summer complaining that there's walls around the park during summer, if you don't and you slow down for the summer, then they complain that, oh my gosh, why is it taking so long? I don't know, man. I think as fans, we just kind of have to this stuff is good. This means we're getting a refresh. This means we're probably going to get new stuff. It's positive. In the short term, yes, it sucks having an inconvenience. But at the end of the day, we live in the real world, and construction isn't done with a magic wand. It takes time. So,
and what did you call it? Hypervigilance?
Hypervigilance.
Yeah. Isn't there a topical cream for that?
There is, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Ask your doctor about hypervigilant now.
But in any case, I want to thank you, OG, for joining me today on this Citrus Corner. It's always a great time talking Disney with you, bro. It's always a good time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great time being here. Everybody, please like and subscribe. We are growing really fast lately. It's been really awesome. So if you like the content, make sure you subscribe. And George, I want to thank you for being an amazing host.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much. And of course, as OG said, we thank you so much for joining us on the shows, on the live shows, as the channel is growing tremendously, as he had mentioned. And we look forward to sharing many more shows, lives, topics, adventures with all you listeners and watchers out there. Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash that subscribe button, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano out.
세상은 누구에게나 공평하게 추악해.